Part 33. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 321. Lin Suiying could not sense the power of the world. She just looked at Su Xian quietly and cooperated with him in playing this game. The power of the world continued to flow into Su Xian's body. The strange world seed within the body rose, and it was like a whirlpool, swallowing up both realms. But the seed still showed no sign of being catalyzed. The little sapling is working hard to attract the power of the world. Its master is about to break through to the realm of kingship, and it is also very excited. The king's realm can open up the inner world. The communication between the owner and it will be further enhanced, its perception of the chaotic universe will also be improved, and the growth cycle will be greatly shortened. Boom! Over the royal city, there were dark clouds and thunder and lightning. All the power of the world was gathered in Shuiyi Palace, which had obviously briefly affected the balance of this world. Governor's mansion, Zhejiang Wang Miaoxian suddenly stood up from his seat and flew high into the sky. He looked faintly at the location of Shuiyi Prince's mansion. The place seemed to have turned into a misty fairyland, and he couldn't see what was happening in it at all, but he could clearly feel that the power of the world within 100 miles of the entire royal city was gathering there. Ordinary people may not think it has any impact. But as a strong man who was granted the title of king, he felt a strong sense of suffocation at this moment. The power of the world continues to gather. The power of the world there has even exceeded the limit that Blue Star can bear, as if the void will burst at any time. What is Su Xian doing again? The king of Zhejiang was very aggrieved. Since he took office as the governor of Dingai King City, he has not been the real governor for a few days. Are you trying to attack the king's realm? The king of Zhejiang was stunned, but this is too outrageous. This kind of movement is more terrifying than breaking through the demigod realm. Even if 50 kings break through at the same time, it is not so outrageous, right? In Prince Shuiyu's palace, Moira also felt the overwhelming movement. This guy. Moira looked at Su Xian taking Lin Suiying for a leisurely stroll in the small courtyard, and murmured in her heart. She still underestimated Su Xian. It is a life and death crisis for others to break through the title of king, and they must use all their strength to unite the inner world. In the end, this guy acted like nothing happened. It is estimated that the entire Dingai King City is about to turn upside down now. Su Xian is still here falling in love and making breakthroughs at the same time. Is this guy really a human? I think that when she broke through to the king realm, she went through a lot of hardships to build a small world that suited her. But Su Xian's breakthrough was as if the small world was fully automatically generated in his body. He did not need to worry about it at all, nor did he need to absorb the power of the world. The whole process is done by saplings. No wonder. No wonder. Moira sighed, no wonder this girl Atna was stuck in it and couldn't extricate herself. She finally understood it now. Just breaking through to the title of king caused such a commotion. If this guy reaches the demigod realm, wouldn't he turn the entire Blue Star upside down? As the power of the world continued to pour into his body, the seed in Su Xian's body finally bloomed, sprouted green buds, and then grew rapidly. It blooms into a chaotic and mottled flower of nothingness. The petals fall. What remains is a fruit between illusion and reality. The surging power of the world finally subsided. The fruit turned into little bits of light and blended into Su Xian's body, and a small world filled with chaos gradually took shape inside Su Xian's body. The king's realm. Become. After entering the king's realm, Su Xian's perception of the entire world became completely different. Except for Blue Star's world power. He also felt some pull toward the distant star of Lowland. It seemed that the power of the world of Star Lowland did not reject him in any way. Lin Suiying didn't know what was happening yet, so she said blankly, "Didn't you just say you wanted to take me to play a game? Look. An ancient cyan lamp appeared in Su Xian's hand. Do you still remember it? Of course I remember, Life Soul Lamp. Lin Suying recalled the past. At that time, although she and Su Xian had expressed their feelings for each other, they had not yet officially become lovers. She was in a hurry to go to the battlefield of the two realms. In order to leave a message in Su Xian's heart, she lit the Life Soul Lamp. She looked toward the wick. The mini and cute version of Suying has fallen into a deep sleep. What are you up to? Lin Suying vaguely guessed Su Xian's purpose. I will reshape your bones. Su Xian smiled and said, and I have found a way to make you recover. Real? Lin Suying was delighted. She pretended to be calm on weekdays in order not to put psychological pressure on Su Xian. She didn't want to re-enter the path of cultivation. Seeing Su Ying's subconscious reaction, Su Xian felt quite distressed. In Su Ying's heart, she had always hoped to recover. Let me ask you first. After being overjoyed, Lin Suying's expression became much more cautious. Recovering my bones, what impact will it have on you? It doesn't matter. Impossible. Before losing her cultivation, Lin Suying could be said to have always been stronger than Su Xian, and she was the one protecting Su Xian most of the time. She naturally understands these things. If it were that simple to reshape one's bones, then everyone in the entire Blue Star could embark on the path of a genius professional. What's more, her bones are not comparable to ordinary people. She also knew that Su Xian had many tricks and created countless miracles, but to restore her bones, she would have to pay a heavy price. Su Xian. Lin Suying looked into his eyes and said seriously, I know you are doing this for my own good, and I can accept your efforts for me, because I am also willing to give everything for you. Wait a little longer, the battle is still undecided, and the most important thing for you to maintain your victory is now. She looked at the sky in the distance. Even if she couldn't see anything, she knew that the senior was fighting there. Now that the result is still undecided, it is meaningless for her to restore her bones. On the contrary, Su Xian's condition is the most important, and she doesn't want to affect Su Xian because of herself. If the battle is settled, Su Xian wants to restore her bones, and she will never refuse her lover's kindness. But now, she must consider Su Xian from the perspective of the overall situation. Seeing Su Xian's gloomy face, Lin Suying gently came forward, tilted her head and touched his lips, and smiled. Don't worry. Don't you know what kind of personality I have? When it's time to accept, I will definitely be more proactive than you, so you don't have to worry about it. You are just worried that I will be hurt. I promise that before my bones are restored, I will never step out of the Shuiyu Palace without your permission. Now you are relieved, right? Su Xian laughed dumbly. That's right. My wife's personality is never the kind of indecisive person. She is never vague about what she should do. Why should I think about it? In this case, it doesn't matter if it's slow. Anyway, the method has been found. Wait for the battle on the sky to end. Before the battle of the sky is decided, I am afraid that the armies of the two worlds can only wait, but as long as the battle is decided, one side will be blood-bathed. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 322. Lorraine Star Sky Boundary. The war between the nine-tailed divine fox and the demigods of Lulan Star has become increasingly fierce, and the defenses at the border of Lulan Star have been shattered. The demigods of all races were filled with grief and anger. Could it be that Luo Langxing had to put in many years of hard work and be overturned in such a ridiculous way? Boom! The nine-tailed fox finally broke through the defense. The huge foxtail swept past, and one of the demigods was wiped out before he could dodge. Facing such a powerful enemy, the demigods of Lulan Star did not dare to take a step back. They had no way to retreat. Only persist. Waiting for the help of the angel. The Lulan Star alone is destined to be unable to stop this being who is above them. seeing that the nine-tailed divine fox is about to enter Lulan Star. At this moment, a huge shadow appeared at the edge of the sky of Lulan Star. Her arrival caused the entire sky to shake. The line of cause and effect and destiny of all chaotic things is plunged into chaos at this moment. It was a blurry face. The right part of the face was covered by a golden mask engraved with strange runes, and the left half of the face was beautiful. Under the left eye, there was a drop of dazzling blue tears hanging. The moment he saw the phantom, the nine-tailed fox retreated suddenly and looked ahead warily, as if facing a formidable enemy. Angel of God. The messenger of God has really arrived. We are saved. The demigods of Lulan Star shouted wildly. Even though they have never seen the divine envoy, they still understand that this is the divine envoy who has been guiding the people of Lulan Star to move forward. Ari, I think we should talk. A disembodied voice sounded in the ears of the nine-tailed fox. Second divine envoy, eyes of crying. The nine-tailed fox looked at the huge shadow suspended in the sky, gritted his teeth and said, "Is all this your plan? Did you design to kill my teacher? You misunderstood." The ethereal existence known as the second divine envoy Crying Eyes replied, "I have nothing against your teacher, so why would I design to kill him? On the contrary, he helped me." Snort. The nine-tailed fox snorted coldly, "Then where did these dirty things on Lulan come from? Didn't you transfer them here?" Crying Eyes smiled and said, "It is true that I transferred these lives to Luland, but it does not mean that the original actions were designed by me. Now I'll give you two choices." The nine-tailed fox said, "Either you take these dirty things away, or I clean them up." "Please forgive me for not agreeing," Crying Eyes refused. "You are just a shadow, why should you stop me?" The nine-tailed fox also saw that the true form of the second divine messenger could not come here at all. No matter what she wanted to do, the other party could not stop it. The second divine envoy said calmly, "I really can't stop you now, but don't forget, I already know where you are, and the protection left by that one before his death is weakening. If you insist on clearing out the people who have transferred to Lulan Star, then I can only tell other divine envoys the location of the two realms." The nine-tailed fox's face was gloomy. She was confused. What exactly is the second divine envoy going to do? Since the other party already knew the locations of Lulan Star and Blue Star, why didn't they just come here? The second divine envoy has a close relationship with the first divine envoy, the fourth divine envoy and the ninth divine envoy. With the strength of the other party, it is extremely easy to take Lulan Star and Blue Star as one's own. Let's take a step back. Since the second divine envoy was already in charge behind the scenes, it would be easy to prevent himself from resurrecting and help Lulan Star capture Blue Star. But the other party still did nothing. It wasn't until he woke up and wanted to wipe out the lives of all the races in Lulan Star that the other party stepped forward to stop him. What is the other party planning? She categorically did not believe the theory that the second divine messenger was just for the sake of being transferred to these people. Ari, how about we each take a step back? The second divine envoy spoke again, "If you don't do it yourself, I won't expose the location of the two realms to other divine envoys, and let the two realms develop naturally." The nine-tailed fox frowned. There was always uneasiness in her heart. The second divine envoy must have a plan, and it is not simple. But she has no right to choose. If the second divine envoy exposes the positions of the two realms, her strength alone will not be able to stop those divine envoys. The current solution is only a temporary compromise. It's not like she has no hope of reversing everything. The means that the teacher left behind were not only the thin film that shielded the secrets of chaos outside the two realms. Besides, little carp. As long as Xiaoli is still there is still the possibility of reversing everything. There must be a reason why the teacher gave Xiaoli to her in the first place. The teacher may have left in Xiaoli the means to fight against those divine envoys. I have one more condition. The nine-tailed divine fox said, we have made a contract between you and me, and no demigod from the two realms can take action. The number of demigods on Lauren's star is twice that of Blue Star. Over the years, if she hadn't contained these demigods, Blue Star would have been unstoppable. Now, she still can't let the strong ones above the demigod take action, otherwise Blue Star will have no hope of winning, and Xiao Li will also be in danger. Under the demigods, although the gap in the number of powerful people still exists, with the help of magic circles and technological means, Blue Star can still barely compete with Lulan Star. Good. The second divine envoy responded, I will restrict the demigods of Lulan Star from taking action. I hope you will not violate the agreement, otherwise I will keep my promise. The nine-tailed fox sighed in her heart. The appearance of the second envoy completely disrupted her plan, and this was all she could do. These envoys were indeed not simple. In the battle where the teacher fell, some envoys did not participate, but they had already planned in secret. This second envoy was probably planning since then. I am still too young. Compared to the second envoy who planned everything, he could only be in a passive position. The two reached a consensus. The ethereal voice of the second envoy sounded at the border of the sky of Lulan Star. I have made a contract with the gods of Blue Star to follow the truth of nature. From this moment on, the demigods of Lulan Star and Blue Star can no longer participate in the war between the two worlds. As demigods, you are already beyond race, and you should pursue the way to become a god in the vast chaos, rather than falling into the worldly struggle. Remember. Violators. Kill. As the voice fell, the shadow of the second envoy disappeared at the border of the sky. The oppressive force that permeated the sky also dissipated. The demigods of Lulan Star were still nervous because the powerful nine-tailed fox had not left yet. Under their gaze, the nine-tailed fox looked at them with contempt, and then turned and walked towards the direction of Blue Star. The demigods of Lulan Star breathed a sigh of relief. Although it is unknown what the messenger of God talked about with the nine-tailed fox, the two should have reached some kind of agreement. Neither of the demigods of the two worlds will take action? Then this war is still beneficial to Lulan Star, and the kings and marquises of Lulan Star still have a numerical advantage. Not to mention the existence of the Forgotten Legion. Unless Blue Star can give birth to a king who crushes the entire battlefield, otherwise Blue Star will definitely lose this war. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 323. The movement above the sky disappeared. The lives of the two worlds became more and more uneasy, and no one knew what the result would be. The demigods on the Blue Star side were all terrified. At the border of the sky, the figure of the nine-tailed fox appeared. She had turned into a human form at this time, but was still in the chaos and mist, and the demigods of Blue Star could not see her face clearly. Hello, Senior. The demigods saluted one after another, feeling uneasy. From now on, the demigods of the two worlds are not allowed to participate in the war between the two worlds. Violators will be killed. The nine-tailed fox warned. Senior, can you tell us why Lulan Star and Blue Star collided and merged? A demigod asked, what exactly happened? Of course there is a behind-the-scenes pusher. The nine-tailed fox did not explain too much. If some things were said, the demigods of Blue Star would not understand, but would increase their psychological burden. You now know that in the vast chaotic universe, gods really exist. What you need to do now is to practice hard and pursue the way to become a god. In a month, the battlefield between the two worlds will restart. You should be prepared. No matter how difficult this war is, you must win it. The nine-tailed fox gave a few instructions. She waved her hand, and a tree trunk appeared in front of the demigods. In the Nine-Tailed Fox's plan, the complete eternal ancient tree was originally intended to be used to stabilize the foundation of the gap in the blue star world after separating the Lorentz star and the blue star. The appearance of the second divine messenger forced her to give up this plan. In this way, this tree trunk can only be used for other purposes. You give this thing to Moira. The nine-tailed fox said, it can manipulate the remaining power of the four forbidden areas and can help you fight against the forgotten legion of Lorentz star. After explaining everything, the nine-tailed fox turned and left. She wanted to see Xylee, but she still resisted the idea. Now that she has been targeted by the second divine envoy, she must not let the relationship between Xylee and herself be exposed, otherwise Xylee will definitely be calculated by the second divine envoy. Thank you, Senior. The demigods of Blue Star bowed and thanked them. The appearance of a transcendent existence that is superior to them has increased the sense of urgency in the hearts of the demigods. At the same time, this also makes them excited. Because this means that there are real gods in the world, then they also have the opportunity to surpass the demigod realm and become the legendary gods. Everyone, pass the news to the Blue Star Alliance first. Long Yuan said, although the war is not over yet, the senior has won a lot for us. With a month of buffer time, we can also prepare more means to deal with the Forgotten Legion. The offensive of the Forgotten Legion was too fierce, and it almost pushed down the defense line of Blue Star in the battlefield between the two worlds. If it weren't for the appearance of the senior, I'm afraid that Blue Star's losses would increase by more than 10 times. But now that there is an extra month of buffer time, they can naturally prepare more plans to deal with the Forgotten Legion. Even if it is still difficult, the hope of winning has greatly increased. Dingai Royal City, Shuiya Palace. Su Xian, who was waiting for the result, received a message from the Sky Eye system. Will the war between the two worlds restart in a month? The moment he saw this message, he instantly understood something. Didn't the senior finally reverse the war? After he felt the movement above the sky disappear, he had a bad premonition. After all, he knew much more than others. There must be a black hand behind the fusion of the two worlds. The appearance of the senior also alarmed the interests of some existences, and the promoter behind the scenes naturally could not let it go. Now it seems that his guess is completely correct. The promoter behind the scenes must have left a backhand to make the senior fall into the state of being banned, and it depends on who has more backhands. Lin Suying felt even more uncomfortable when she learned the news. She paid so much and held infinite expectations, but still failed. Looking at the message sent by the Sky Eye system, Lin Suying stood there with red eyes. She suddenly felt that life was so powerless, and everything was like flowing water. Suying, don't be sad. Su Xian gently hugged her and comforted her. Although the war is not over, the current situation is still favorable for us. A month of buffer period is enough for us to do a lot of things. But Lin Suying felt uncomfortable. Don't worry about your bones, Su Xian said softly. I said I can recover for you, and I will definitely do it. Yet, there is another very important thing. Su Xian released the communication message. Did you see it? That senior seems to have reached an agreement with the existence behind Lulin Star, and it has been clearly stipulated that the strong men above the demigod level in the two worlds cannot take action. But Lulin Star has many more kings and marquises than us, and they also have the Forgotten Legion, Lin Suying said. A large number? Then kill them all. Su Xian raised the corner of his mouth. Under the circumstance that demigods cannot participate in the war, with his current realm, he is enough to walk sideways on the battlefield between the two worlds. This agreement. It undoubtedly created an excellent opportunity for him to be promoted. Lin Suying stared at Su Xian blankly. She almost forgot that her master could not be measured by ordinary standards. For Su Xian, killing enemies of higher levels is as simple as drinking water and eating. Thinking of the past battles, she had never seen anyone in the same realm who could survive Su Xian in a one-on-one situation. The disadvantage in the battlefield in the past was that no matter how strong the king was, he could only fight 1-on-2 at most. Fighting 3 in the same realm would definitely lead to death. But Su Xian was never within this framework. Just his mythical equipment alone could crush many kings. Yes, kill them all. After a long time, Lin Suiying smiled. Thinking of the situation at the time, it was much more difficult than it is now. Besides, the appearance of that senior has won them a great opportunity. A month of buffer. Countless thoughts emerged in Lin Suiying's mind. I wonder if the teacher is still here. At the beginning, she went to the battlefield between the two realms under the guidance of the teacher. The teacher taught her a lot of things, including the water moon sword and the mirror flower water moon technique. After she was able to stand on her own, the teacher rarely appeared. Now that the senior has awakened, perhaps the teacher has also returned. Thinking of this, Lin Suiying was a little excited. Su Xian, can you accompany me back to Qingzhou City? Missing home. Su Xian thought that Lin Suiying had fallen into mediocrity and couldn't help missing her hometown. Lin Suiying shook her head. I think the teacher may be back, I want to go back and see. Su Xian was stunned. Suiying's teacher? The mystery of that person is no less than that of the senior in the sky. Suiying's teacher should also have the power beyond the demigod, but why didn't she help? There should be a friendship between the two. Perhaps, it is time to visit this person with Suiying to find out. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 324. Qingzhou City. This small town, which once had the lowest administrative level, became extraordinary because of the emergence of two big figures. On the street, a man and a woman held hands and walked side by side. I haven't been back for a long time. Walking on the streets of Qingzhou City, Lin Suiying felt comfortable. Despite the critical state of the war, the people of this small town have a good mentality. After all, the town is mostly populated by ordinary people and low-level professionals. They cannot see things at that level, and they are not in the mood to pay attention to them. Just living takes all their energy. Su Xian, look. Passing by the outer city, Lin Suiying pointed somewhere. That's where I first saw you. At that time, monsters were attacking the city, and you were still in the Golden Realm. More than 2 years have passed in the blink of an eye. Who could have expected that the young man would become the world-famous Jian Jihao? It turns out that you have taken a liking to me since then. Su Xian smiled. No. Lin Suiying glared at him, I'm just a little curious. What's the saying? Su Xian put his arm around her waist. Curiosity is the beginning of downfall. Bah, you still behave well when you get an advantage. Lin Suiying spat lightly. The two of them walked and quickly crossed the outer city and arrived at the inner city. Today, the most prosperous area in Qingzhou City is the street near the Lin family's ancestral home, and even the Heroes Association branch has moved nearby. In Qingzhou City, the Lin family's ancestral home is a representative of authority. Even the people in the governor's mansion were extremely polite to the Lin family. The two strolled to the Lin family's ancestral home, which was heavily guarded. Before they even got close, guards rushed over. You two, please stop. This is private property, please take a detour. The soldier couldn't feel the aura of the two people at all. In his eyes, these were two ordinary people. At this moment, a young girl rushed out of the house. Sister. The girl rushed forward with 3 steps and 2 steps at a time, and got into Lin Suiying's arms. Just when she was about to meet Lin Suiying, she was held down by a powerful force. Sister, what are you doing? The girl pouted and said coquettishly, you have a husband and you don't even want to hug your sister. The slim girl in front of her is Lin Suiying's younger sister, Lin Weiwei. Sister, I can't hold you now, Lin Suiying said with a smile. Lin Weiwei was stunned, not knowing what Lin Suiying meant. She only thought that her sister's realm was too high and she had reached the point of returning to nature, so she acted like an ordinary person. Let's talk about it when we get home. Just as Lin Weiwei was about to ask, Lin Suiying interrupted her and walked home. The guards stood dumbly on the spot. Water Moon King. It turns out that King Shuiyu is back. For them, the powerful people in the Tianhe realm are unattainable and untouchable beings. They are naturally excited to see a king in person. Who is the man next to King Shuiyu? The guards were confused. Living in Qingzhou City, they naturally had no access to Lin Suiying and Su Xian's affairs. They didn't know that the two had already established a relationship. I just envy any man who is so lucky to be favored by King Shuiyu. When they wanted to take another look, Su Xian and others had already returned to the house. Sister, what's wrong with you? Are you hurt? After walking a few steps, Lin Weiwei also discovered something was wrong. My sister's physical condition seems to be very weak, with no trace of the aura of heaven and earth on her body, just like a real ordinary person. There are some problems in cultivation, but it's nothing serious. Lin Suiying did not tell the truth. If you talk about this kind of thing, your sister will not be able to help you much. That. Lin Weiwei's eyes fell on Su Xian again. She was not deeply impressed by Su Xian. I remember that Su Xian was only at the silver level at the beginning, and he used some deception method to accept Xiao Li as his disciple. I thought this person was just an insignificant passerby in life. The news she heard later made her feel even more outrageous. First, his disciple Zhang Mu got the second best score in the history of Qingzhou City in the college entrance examination, and then he heard about the scandal between him and his sister. Now I am back home with my sister. His hands are still around my sister's waist. She had never seen a man touch her sister's clothes before, but this Su Xian had. There is still a sweet smile on my sister's face. It seems that Su Xian has successfully transformed from Xiaoli's teacher into his brother-in-law. Sister, are you and Mr. Su really together? Lin Weiwei couldn't help but feel doubtful and asked anyway. Yes, Lin Suiying nodded and smiled. From now on, you will call him brother-in-law. Brother-in-law. Lin Weiwei shouted directly. She did not reject Su Xian in her heart, but she felt that this change of identity was a bit strange. In the past, I was too short-sighted. Since he is a man recognized by his sister, he must be excellent. Here, I'll give you a meeting gift. Su Xian smiled and took out a set of epic equipment and weapons from the space ring. Although these things were no different from garbage to him. But for my sister-in-law, it is just right, even a bit luxurious. Lin Weiwei's talent is indeed much lower than Lin Suiying's, and she is still in the early stage of Silver Moon realm. This kind of talent is stronger than many people, but in front of real geniuses, it can only be considered average. Especially with Lin Suiying being such a great success, Lin Weiwei, as a younger sister, seems even more mediocre. Thank you, brother-in-law. Lin Weiwei happily accepted the gift. I wish you and sister a long life together and have a litter of babies. She smiled. By the way, sister, where is Xiaoli? Why didn't she come back? She is in the royal city and can't come back for the time being. Okay. I haven't seen this girl for a long time, and I miss her. When Lin Weiwei was a child, she often played with Xiaoli and liked this little girl from the bottom of her heart. Su Xian and Lin Suiying didn't explain. If she knew that Xiaoli's current realm was comparable to that of a king, I'm afraid Lin Weiwei would explode directly. The three chatted for a long time. Until the evening, after dinner. Su Xian asked Lin Suiying, do you have any feelings? No, Lin Suiying was a little disappointed. Maybe the teacher has left and will never come back. There must be a chance to see each other again. Su Xian comforted her, and his mental power gradually spread, and in an instant it enveloped the entire Lin family's ancestral home. In his perception, the Lin family's underground treasure house seemed a little abnormal. When he wanted to find out, his mental power was blocked outside. Such a powerful mental power, even those demigods did not have it. Could it be the means left by Su Ying's teacher? With Su Xian's realm, even if it was a means left by a demigod, he had the confidence to crack it. In this Jingzhou city, the means that could not be touched by his mental power could only be left by Su Ying's mysterious teacher. Follow me. Thinking of this, Su Xian immediately pulled Lin Suying to the underground treasure house. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 325. The two came to the underground secret room. This was also the beginning of their closer relationship. The moment she stepped into the underground secret room, Lin Suying seemed to have sensed it. Buzz. The Shuiyu sword, which had been kept by Su Xian, suddenly made a long sound. What's going on? Lin Suying was surprised and happy. The Shuiyu sword has recovered. It must be the method left by the teacher. At the beginning, the teacher gave her the Shuiyu sword. This weapon has been with her as she grew up. It was not until she became a marquis and a king that this weapon showed its edge. But in the battle with the Black Plague, she activated the fourth rune given to her by the teacher at the cost of dispersing her cultivation, and also made the Shuiyu sword fall into silence. Now that the Shuiyu sword has awakened, it means that she may recover. Sure enough. Su Xian was also very happy. Looking up and looking forward, this is no longer the secret room in their impression, but has become a paradise. As far as the eye can see, there is a quiet and vast lake. In the center of the lake, there is a small house floating above the water. This scene is like a dream. But both of them can feel that it really exists. It seems like an illusion, but it is reality. Suying. An ethereal and pleasant voice came from the hut. Teacher. Hearing this voice, Lin Suying was overjoyed. Teacher, you are back. No. The voice in the hut said, this is not the teacher himself, but a divine thought left by the teacher on the blue star. The teacher's real body has left this world. Teacher, have you left? Even though she had prepared herself in her heart, Lin Suying still felt lost when she really knew it. If we are destined, we will see each other again. In the middle of the lake, the door of the hut slowly opened. Come up, the teacher will give you one last chance. Yes. Since the teacher had left, Lin Suying had no choice. Now it seems that the teacher is the real god in the legend. She walked towards the hut in the lake step by step, stepping on the lake, and ripples rippled. She finally saw the figure in front of the hut clearly. The teacher was wearing a green palace dress, with the skirt winding behind her, simple and elegant, and 3,000 black hair hanging down to her waist, like a classical beauty walking out of a painting. Suying greets the teacher. Lin Suying bowed respectfully. Come here, the man waved gently. Lin Suying leaned forward, the man stretched out his hand and gently touched her forehead, and countless water blue factors suddenly spread out on the lake. The water blue factors gathered at the fingertips of the man, and then all poured into Lin Suying's forehead. Flowers in the mirror, moons in the water. False and real, true and false. Flowers in the mirror, moons in the water, can't be touched. Suying, when you truly understand the reality, master the reality, and your mind and body can switch between the reality and the reality at will, you can be considered to have truly understood the true meaning of this way. In Lin Suying's mind, countless pictures appeared. Scenes from the past. Some images were extremely clear, while others were in the fuzzy part of memory, making it hard to tell whether they were real or fake. Some things seemed to have existed before, but when she touched them, they turned into water and moon and disappeared. Some things clearly did not exist in her memory at all, but when she touched them, they were so clear. The moon in the sky, the moon in the water, in the rotation of this memory, Lin Suying could not tell the real from the fake. What was she looking for? After a long time, the lake returned to calm. Lin Suying only felt that her body became much lighter, and her bones were a little itchy, but she still could not sense the existence of the cultivation root bone. The master has renourished your root bone for you. The man smiled softly and said, when the water and moon factor is completely integrated into your body, you can embark on the road of cultivation again. Disciple thanks the teacher. Lin Suying bowed respectfully. It's okay. The man waved his hand. From today on, you and I are no longer a master-disciple relationship. Lin Suying was stunned, and sadness brewed in her heart. Why? Teacher. The man smiled and said, don't think too much, I just simply feel that maybe when we meet again next time, it will be inappropriate for you and me to get along as a master and a disciple. Lin Suying was puzzled. What do you mean by this? The man smiled but didn't say anything, obviously not wanting to explain more. Teacher, I have another question for you. Lin Suying also knew the teacher's temper. It was useless for her to ask more questions about things that the teacher didn't want to say. You say. The figure of the man gradually became illusory, and his mind was about to disappear. Lin Suying asked, I want to know, why do you want to help Langxing? And you have such a powerful ability, why don't you just do it? No. The man shook his head. You misunderstood, I'm not helping Langxing, I'm just repaying a favor from an old friend. As for why I didn't do it, it's because there are powerful beings outside the two worlds that you can't imagine. Once I do it myself, it will bring a greater disaster. The information revealed by the teacher shocked Lin Suying. An old friend? An unimaginably powerful being outside the two worlds. With your current realm, you should be able to see that the fusion of the two worlds is not a simple operation of natural rules, but a plan of a certain god. What the final result will be is not something I can control. The voice echoed in Lin Suying's ears. Looking up, the teacher's divine consciousness had completely dissipated, and even the hut became illusory, and the paradise disappeared. Lin Suying returned to the Lin family's secret room. Su Xian could not hear the previous words. He only saw a vague figure there, who said something to Lin Suying, and then disappeared. After the divine consciousness dissipated, Su Xian could feel that there were some unknown factors in Lin Suying's body. These unknown factors were constantly repairing Suying's dormant bones. After recultivating once, perhaps the rising Suying will be stronger than before. Teacher. Lin Suying was in a heavy mood. The words the teacher said before leaving made her understand that the collision between the two worlds was far from being as simple as it seemed. That senior must have been bound by some constraints, so he could not completely solve Lulin's star. What secrets are hidden behind the fusion of the two worlds? It seems that the road I want to take is far from stopping, and I have to move forward. At least I have to reach a realm above the demigod to be qualified to explore the truth. Suying, are you okay? What did your teacher tell you? Su Xian asked. She said. Behind the fusion of the two worlds, there is a man behind the scenes that we can't imagine. For Su Xian, Lin Suying did not hide anything and said it directly. Is it really so? Su Xian looked solemn. Before, he was just guessing, but now the words of Suying's mysterious teacher have confirmed that this is a fact. She also said that she helped Blue Star just to repay the kindness of an old friend. Old friend. This time, Su Xian was also stunned. Could it be that in some ancient times, there were also local gods behind Blue Star? The situation seems to be getting more and more wrong. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbs feed -01, container, tabula below article feed, placement, below article feed, target. Type, mix. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 326. About the past and the future, Su Xian had countless thoughts flashing through his mind. What is the secret behind the fusion of the two worlds? After going through so much, Su Xian found that instead of looking for answers everywhere, it is better to practice hard and become the answer himself. As the saying goes, it is better to ask yourself than to ask others. When you grow to that point, you will naturally be able to uncover all the secrets. Suying, I have another question for you. Su Xian looked at the things in the basement, and he thought of when Lin Suying gave him the 1,000 chance umbrella. What's the question? Lin Suying was in a very good mood. Although there was still a layer of grey curtain above the sky that had not been unveiled, as long as she could continue to practice, it meant that she still had the possibility of uncovering everything. What did the teacher mean by that? She must understand. Why did you give me your protective jade pendant? Su Xian had always been puzzled about this matter. At that time, there was no love between him and Suying, it was just a normal exchange of human feelings, but Lin Suying gave him such a big gift. If it weren't for this protective jade pendant, his life would have been completely changed when he first boarded the spaceship. Didn't you help me condense the world seed first? Lin Suying asked back, I didn't know what I could do to repay you at that time, so I could only do this. Su Xian was confused, when did I help you condense the world seed? Lin Suying laughed, you still don't admit it? At that time, you entered the state of enlightenment and deliberately revealed the meaning of chaos, so that I could understand the prototype of chaos and then condense the world seed. She hugged his arm and asked viciously, tell me. Did you like me at that time? Su Xian finally understood. At that time, he asked Lin Suying to teach her the basics of water moon mirror flower, and then he accidentally entered the state of enlightenment, and the prototype of the chaos body revealed its true meaning. Suying happened to get enlightenment from it and mistakenly thought that she deliberately revealed the prototype of chaos. Then, the beautiful misunderstanding began like this. The relationship became a lover. Now lovers are almost married. So, the return of the chaos body prototype was just in time, and indirectly returned a wife to him. The system is quite sensible. Su Xian said no more, and let the beautiful misunderstanding go, since the person had already been cheated. The two walked out of the underground secret room with a smile. In the next few days, the two stayed in Qingzhou City, having fun every day, and were very happy. Until the 6th day, Su Xian received the news of Xiaoliu's delusion in the mind space. These days, Xiaoliu has also been playing in the battlefield between the two worlds. However, Xiaoliu has never joined the formal army, but disguised himself as various creatures of Lulan Star and mixed into the enemy camp. Since the last time he followed Su Xian to make a fuss in the 3rd Legion in the north of Lulan Star, this guy has become addicted to playing, and likes to pretend to be creatures of all races. With the power of the Tower of Delusion, although its camouflage technology is not as good as Su Xian, it also pretends to be in good shape. Teacher, teacher. Are you there? In the mind space, Xiaoliu was quite impatient. What's wrong, Xiaoliu? Teacher, I was beaten by evil forces. Several big black question marks appeared in the mind space, expressing Su Xian's doubts at this time. Being beaten by evil forces? What does it mean? Xiaomai Wang said, Teacher, it's like this. When I was playing in the battlefield between the two worlds, I ran into the Tower Spirit from Lulan Star. The Tower of Death and the Tower of Delusion are extremely special existences. It is suspected to be the work of gods. There are also twin towers on Lulan Star. And the twin towers of Lulan Star have existed for much longer than those of Blue Star. Su Xian was quite surprised. You mean the Tower Spirit of the Tower of Delusion on Lulan Star also ran out? Not one, but two. Xiaoliu's voice was very aggrieved. Its bully brother also ran out. If it was just one, I wouldn't be afraid of them. At the end, Xiaoliu was almost crying in a hurry, and said angrily, 2 against 1, isn't this bullying the honest spirit? Su Xian probably understood what Xiaoliu meant. Shaking the spirit. The tower spirit of Lulan Star has a bully brother, and Xiaoliu also has a domineering sister. Su Xian wanted to laugh. In the battle between the two worlds, not only the armies of the two worlds were defeated, but now even the tower spirits of the twin towers from the same sect have to compete with each other? You come back first. Su Xian said, then your master will go to the Death Tower with you. Moira deduced that the ancestral blood of the original spirit may be in the twin towers. In his plan, he had to go to the twin towers. There are more than 20 days before the war between the two worlds starts again, and he also wants to become as strong as possible during this period. It is impossible to become stronger by practicing hard on your own. Only by teaching disciples and returning high times can the realm be continuously improved. The evolution degree of the prototype of the chaos body is now 48%. If the ancestral blood of the original spirit can be obtained again, more than half of the evolution can be completed, and then a good companion skill will definitely be obtained. Thank you, teacher. Xiaoliu was also very excited to get Su Xian's consent. The teacher was able to break the rules of the Tower of Delusion, so he must be able to break the rules of the Tower of Death, and then trick the second sister out. With the help of the second sister, he is not afraid of the two bullies of Luo Langxing. Teacher, I'll be back in 2 days. Xiaoliu's mental power quickly exited the mind space. Suying, we should go back. After staying in Qingzhou City for so many days, Su Xian and Lin Suying's mentality has changed a little, and their perspective on the world has also changed quietly. The war is not over after all. It is impossible for the two to stay in Qingzhou City forever. Yet, these days, after being nourished by the aqua blue factor, Lin Suying's body has gradually transformed. She is confident that as long as her bones are restored, she will be able to recover to her previous state in a very short time, or even better. In her heart, she also has her own pride. She doesn't want to spend the rest of her life under Su Xian's careful protection. She wants to become stronger and be able to accompany Su Xian all the time. Do more things for the one she loves. Tell Lin Weiwei the news that the two are leaving. The latter was quite reluctant. Sister, brother-in-law, are you really leaving? Yes. Lin Suying smiled slightly. The war situation is undecided, the country is in turmoil. How can we have fun all the time? You should go back to school earlier. Sister, can we win? Lin Weiwei was very worried. In the minds of most people on Blue Star is still the absolutely weaker side compared to Lulan Star. They are very worried that they will be invaded by the enemy army like the first battle 500 years ago. Definitely. Lin Suying answered firmly. She held Su Xian's hand tightly. She believed that they would definitely win this time. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 327. That evening, Su Xian and Lin Suying returned to Dingai Royal City. Compared to Qingzhou City, the atmosphere in the Royal City was obviously much more solemn. Professionals who could settle down in the Royal City had some experience and had served in the battlefields of the two worlds, so they had a clearer understanding of the war situation there. Along the way, Su Xian and Lin Suying heard a lot of opinions. There were quite a few people who were pessimistic, believing that when the war between the two worlds started again, it would be difficult for Blue Star to resist. Some people also thought the predecessors of the human race survived the battle. No matter how difficult this battle was, it could not be worse than the battle. Blue Star would definitely win. The two returned to Shuiyu Palace. It was already evening. Everyone was working hard to practice. Moira was teaching the elf queen Atna and Zyoki Nicolin to practice. After Moira's teaching, Nicolin's realm in the Great Star Chart technique made rapid progress, and now she has condensed the prototype of the 6th star map. Lin's own realm successfully broke through the Golden Realm. Atna also reached the 7th grade Marquee realm. After all, she is the queen of the elves, and has been recognized and blessed by the Eternal Scepter and the Eternal Crown. In addition, the seedlings of the Eternal Ancient Tree connect her with the future lifeline of the elves. Atna's future achievements will definitely not be too low. It is even possible to reach the height of Moira. Xylee is still in a deep sleep, as if he is dreaming, smiling sweetly. There is also Wuxin, whose name has not yet been determined. Since this guy came back with Suxian, he just went to his mother's ancestral home to take a look, and then he did not take any action. He has been in the royal city for so long, and he has not communicated with anyone. Even if he saw Suxian, he would not speak. He sat on the high wall, looking up at the moon, with the coffin woven with the wood of purification next to him. Suxian glanced at Wuxin, but did not say much. Wuxin had experienced such setbacks and was born in a dark environment isolated from the world. Naturally, his character cannot be easily changed. But he could feel that Wuxin had also practiced. After he came back, he taught Wuxin the Wuxin Wuxianju, and the latter also tacitly accepted this inheritance. The two of them maintained a peculiar master-disciple relationship. Soul particles occasionally appeared beside Wuxin. At this time, Wuxin would make some strange movements, even laugh, or murmur in a low voice, talking to himself. Perhaps, in Wuxin's eyes, there is another world. The world of those soul particles. Suxian did not disturb Wuxin and let him develop freely. As long as he did not hurt people at will or do anything that hurt the world, let him immerse himself in that world. He led Lin Suying to the small courtyard. He took out the soul lamp and put it on the table. Fortunately, Zhang and Yin Xiaoshuang were a loving couple. In the process of their unity, they returned a lot of soul crystals used to light the soul lamp. With a flash of light in his hand, several soul crystals fell on the soul lamp. Ignite! The crystals were burning. The mini Suying on the ancient lamp also woke up from silence. At the same time, Lin Suying could feel that her soul had received a strange feedback, her mental power became full, and even the water blue factor in her body became active. Originally, the teacher hoped that these water blue factors could slowly restore her bones. Now Suxian's method is no less than the teacher's. The two methods of reshaping bones came together, and they had a magical common effect. The little Suying on the ancient lamp soon became full. She was glowing and gradually became spiritual. At the same time, Lin Suying's mental power reached its peak. World Tree. Now is the best time to build a short-lived world, guide Lin Suying to comprehend the origin of the world, and reshape the bones. The small world sapling swayed. A layer of faint mysterious substances floated out from its branches and leaves. These substances surrounded Suxian and Lin Suying, surrounded them, and invisible threads intertwined together. Suxian cut his wrist. Blood flowed out. In an instant, the power of chaos surged wildly, and under the coordination of the World Tree, it completely swallowed up the world power of the entire Blue Star world. Beside them, it seemed that a brand new world was being born. But this world was extremely unstable. It was completely dependent on Suxian's blood to stimulate the power of the chaotic universe to maintain. Once it lost Suxian's blood and the protection of the World Tree, it would immediately collapse. But at this moment, it was indeed a brand new small world. Suxian closed his eyes, and his mental power spread out. Lin Suying also stretched out his hands. The two people put their 10 fingers together. 10 fingers connected the heart. Under Suxian's guidance, Lin Suying also had an understanding of this short-lived small world. In her mind, it seemed that a flower bloomed in the depths of the chaotic void. One flower, one world, one leaf, one Bodhi. The birth and extinction of the world. In a flower, you can explore the mysteries of the chaotic universe. Compared with the birth and extinction of the world, it seems not difficult to just glimpse the mystery of the root bone. Since it was something I had once possessed, why can't I revive it? The aqua factor quickly merged with Lin Suying's body at this moment. Pain continued to come from the bones and tendons. It was as if something was about to drill out from inside. The true knowledge of the world glimpsed in the blooming and falling of flowers. How difficult is it to reshape the root bones? The pain has not yet subsided. Lin Suying's heart is clear. She began to actively absorb the energy of the small world. Those energies collided into her body, and they constantly rubbed the newly grown root bones. The word root bones, in other words, refers to the degree of fit with the world and nature. The more one fits with the world, the higher the talent. The root bones that Lin Suying grew again were born in the constant grinding with the power of the world, and naturally stronger than before. Those water blue factors contain a magical power. The combination of the two makes Lin Suying's root bone talent even stronger than before. In this way, the filth is removed and the true meaning is glimpsed. It can be regarded as a blessing in disguise. Time passed little by little, and in the constant grinding, Lin Suying's new root bones gradually took shape. However, although the root bones were recast, the scattered cultivation still had to be rebuilt. Su Xian, I seem to have succeeded. Lin Suying was not sure for a while. Sensing the fluctuations of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth again made her feel nervous and complicated. A strong feeling of fatigue surged into her heart. The recasting of the bones made it difficult for Lin Suying's current body to adapt, and it would take some time for the two to fit together. With a dizzy mind, Lin Suying's eyes went dark and she lost consciousness immediately. But the little Suying in the soul lamp became full at this moment. Su Xian dispersed the life world built with blood, supported Lin Suying, and breathed a sigh of relief after carefully sensing it. This almost sucked him dry. Fortunately, Suying's mysterious master gave him an opportunity, otherwise it would be difficult to succeed in one go. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 328. The next afternoon, Lin Suying just woke up from a coma. After recovering her bones, her mental state was obviously much better than before. Su Xian, I can feel the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. I can really feel the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Lin Suying's happiness was beyond words, as excited as a little girl. Come on, Su Xian's mouth tilted. From today on, my status will be reversed. I, Su Xian, want to revive my husband. You are beautiful. Lin Suying rolled her eyes at him. It's rare to show the shy little woman's posture. In fact, she also understood that if she practiced again, no matter how fast her breakthrough speed was, she would definitely not be able to surpass Su Xian. But she still hopes that as a wife, she can always be by Su Xian's side, not to be a drag on her husband but also to provide some necessary assistance. There are only more than 20 days before the start of the Second War, and she must recover to the level of feudal lord or above within this time. Su Xian, from now on, until the war begins, both of us must exercise restraint. Lin Suying said seriously, from today on, don't disturb me. I will never leave until I break through the feud. Su Xian. I just said that I would revive my husband tonight, but this woman doesn't play by the rules. Don't give yourself a chance to shock. Forget it. He can still distinguish between a lifetime of happiness and one night's happiness. Wait for me. Lin Suying stood up and kissed Su Xian passionately on the lips. After a long time, the two separated. Su Xian silently exited the room. In the evening, Xiaoliu also returned to Dingai King City. Teacher. Xiaoliu was very excited to see Su Xian, but soon his face turned aggrieved. Apparently, he was still brooding over the beating he received from the two tower spirits of Lulan Star. Teacher, the two tower spirits on Lulan Star do not talk about spiritual virtue. Madman was very sad, and burst into tears when he came up. I arranged a fight with me, and lied to me about a fair duel, but in the end, I was shaken. Two of them beat one, and I bullied Lao Ling. I must go back and tell my second sister and ask her to help me take revenge. Su Xian couldn't help laughing. Although Xiao Liu's experience was tragic, he still couldn't help but want to laugh. Still have a fight? He gave Fatty Lu a good beating and then let him go. Are all these tower spirits so innocent? Why don't he go to the next date? See if you can trick two tower spirits from Lulan Star into working for you. Ken. Very good. Su Xian made a decision in his heart. Luin Lu, get ready, we are going to the Twin Towers tonight. Now that Su Ying had to practice in seclusion and recover at full strength, Su Xian had nothing to do and just went to the Twin Towers to look for traces of the original spirit ancestors' blood. Stop by to see the Tower of Death. Yeah. Xiaolian was also very excited. It left the Tower of Delusion with curiosity, saw this novel world, and made many friends. But now it feels homesick again. After deciding on the itinerary, Su Xian found Moira again and explained Su Ying's situation to her. Has Xiao Suying's bones recovered? Moira was very surprised. She didn't expect that Xiao Suying's bones could recover so quickly. It seemed that Su Xian had quite a lot of hidden tricks. Su Xian nodded. Now that Su Ying has reshaped her bones, she may be stronger than before. It is a blessing in disguise. Su Ying is weak now. Please take care of her during my absence. Don't worry, Moira smiled. When your child is born, you will still call me godmother. Thank you. After the arrangements were made, Su Xian took Xiao Lu to the land of the Twin Towers. There are still more than 20 days before the Second War begins, enough for them to go to the Tower of Death. Soon the master and apprentice were on the spaceship heading to the Twin Towers. Now that the war is about to begin, many strong men are eager to improve their strength. There are many more people going to the Twin Towers than before. On the spaceship, Su Xian saw several powerful men who were granted the title of Lord. Standing on the deck, looking at the scenery of the wilderness in the distance, Su Xian was filled with emotions. During the first war between the two worlds, countless small world passages were opened, a large number of cities turned into wilderness, and small monsters continued to pour in from lowland. To this day, most of the wilderness is still occupied by monsters. Su Xian was a little worried that if a second war started between the two worlds, countless new world passages would emerge again. Over the past 100 years, large-scale world passages have rarely appeared. The most recent appearance of a large world passage was the one near Dingai King City. Every emergence of large and super-large world passages is a test for Blue Star. The Blue Star Alliance can securely defend the battlefields of the two realms because it has built a very large defensive array there, which is easy to defend but difficult to attack. However, in the World Channel, every time you have to install defensive crystals while fighting fiercely with the enemy, it is naturally more difficult for the Blue Star Alliance with weak military strength. I hope you'll be safe. If the war with Starlowland is won, the next step is to clean up the wilderness and rewash Blue Star. Have a safe journey. The spaceship arrives at the Twin Towers. Xiaolai was very excited when he smelled the smell coming from the Twin Towers. His face and neck turned red, and he sprayed hot water and steam one after another. The love was so deep that I couldn't help but spin in circles, my face full of intoxication. Ah! It smells like the second sister. Many passengers. Where did this weird kid come from? Only a few powerful marquis recognized Su Xian and hurried forward to greet him. Su Xian's arrival also alarmed the kings guarding the Twin Towers. 5 streams of light arrived in front of Su Xian in an instant. Now Su Xian's identity and status are no longer the same. In the past, they could ignore him, but now they can't be arrogant. The 5 permanent members of the Blue Star Alliance guarding the Twin Towers have all appeared. All 5 people were shocked. According to the information they knew, Su Xian should be a marquis. But at this moment, they could clearly feel that Su Xian's aura was stronger than theirs, releasing a sense of oppression. "You kid, have you become a king?" Although Xingluo King Li Xingchen had not met Su Xian a few times, the two had a good relationship, and he asked the answer that the others wanted. "I just broke through a few days ago." Su Xian smiled. "Congratulations. Congratulations to King Qinji. Our Blue Star Alliance has added another powerful general. The war is imminent, and King Qinji's breakthrough is really exciting." The kings of other countries congratulated him. "Su Xian, are you here to break through the tower?" Li Xingchen asked. "Yes." Su Xian nodded. "The war is imminent, so I naturally have to improve my strength as much as possible, and take my disciple to experience it." "Your disciple?" Li Xingchen looked at Xiaolu and frowned. "It seems that I have seen it somewhere, but I can't think of it. This breath is very familiar. But it looks quite smart. Is it a girl or a boy?" Su Xian almost laughed out loud. "You have guarded the Twin Towers for so many years, so it's natural to feel familiar. It's not a human." Su Xian did not reveal Xiaoliu's true identity. Li Xingchen was also very sensible and did not ask more questions. Boom. As the two chatted, there was a movement in the depths of the Twin Towers. The strange phenomenon of heaven and earth was born. The sky roared, the Twin Towers trembled, golden lotus emerged from the ground, and holy light continued to fall from the sky, as if celebrating something. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 329. What's going on? Su Xian looked at Li Xingchen with a confused expression. Li Xingchen's face was full of shock. Also shocked were the garrison kings of the other 4 permanent members of the Security Council. Strong. Too strong. Li Xingchen praised repeatedly. Boy Su Xian, do you know why the strange phenomena appeared in the Twin Towers just now? What? Someone broke the record. Li Xingchen explained, you should know that if a strong demigod clears the Twin Towers, his or her ranking will not be left on the stone tablet. Only strong people below a demigod who clears the level alone will leave their name. The highest difficulty level in Tower of Death is demigod level. As he spoke, Li Xingchen's voice became excited. In other words, someone defeated the demigod level combat power of the Tower of Death with the cultivation of the King Realm. This is something that has never happened in 500 years. Even the demigods of Blue Star today only cleared the level after becoming demigods. The passers this time can be said to have created a historical record, and it may even be difficult for anyone to break it in the future. Su Xian was also quite surprised. It's not that he looks down on people. But he clearly realized how big the gap was between the king and the demigods. He originally thought that he was the only idiot in the world who could have the opportunity to kill the demigods with the title of king. I didn't expect anyone to be able to do this. Even though the combat power of the demigods in the Tower of Death is limited by rules and cannot match that of a real demigod, it is still rare. Who is the passer? Su Xian asked. Not sure. Li Xingchen shook his head. Before you came, several kings came, all wanting to go further before the war started. We have the Great Demon King and King Wuan of the Dragon Kingdom, the King of Thousand Thunders of the Eagle Kingdom, King Sira of the Romantic Kingdom, the Mad Lion King of the Bear Kingdom, the Hitomi King of the Sakura Kingdom, and so on. These are all powerful men who are infinitely close to demigods. If any one of them achieves enlightenment, it is possible to accomplish this achievement. Su Xian was quite surprised. It seems that the feudal kings are also very involved. The several kings listed by Li Xingchen just now are all the strongest kings in their respective countries. They are also long-established superpowers and may break through to the demigod realm at any time. Let's go over and have a look. Li Xingchen is also looking forward to finding out who will break the record. Several people flew towards the depths of the Twin Towers. Soon they saw a man standing in front of the stone tablet of the Tower of Death, staring at the ranking on the stone tablet for a long time. He is indeed the great Demon King. The 5 guarding kings were a little excited. After all, in the global combat power rankings, the mysterious Big Demon King has always been ranked first. Today, as they expected, it was the Big Demon King who broke the record of the Tower of Death. Huh? They're all here. The big devil turned around and looked at everyone. Su Xian was also sizing up the other party. The image of the great Demon King was very different from what he imagined. He originally thought that the great Demon King should be the kind of super strong man with a cold temperament, unparalleled coercion, and self-respect. But the real big devil is wearing cute doggy pajamas, with dull eyes and an ordinary passerby face. The pants are the common style of beach pants on the street. On her feet were a pair of cracked flip-flops. A proper otaku. If you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, it would be hard for anyone to believe that such a senior otaku turned out to be a world-famous devil. Oh, let's go back to playing games. The big devil stretched his body and said, "Goodbye, everyone." Whoosh. The next moment, silver light flashed, and the big devil had disappeared. Li Xingchen smiled bitterly and said, "This big devil is really a strange person. He hardly communicates with any other title-level experts and just likes to play games. It is said that his training method is to play the monsters of Lulan Star as a game, the positions are the levels, and the various strong men are the level bosses. In the past, others thought he was a madman, but now, this madman has become the number one in the world. Interesting." Su Xian thought this big devil was quite interesting. He looked at the ranking stone tablet in front of the Tower of Death. On the top layer, there is a line of golden characters printed. The first place on the clearance list is the Great Demon King of Dragon Kingdom. He cleared the 45 levels and took 2 days, 16 hours, and 31 minutes. After that, there were a series of silver rankings. Rank second on the clearance list, King of Thunder of Eagle Kingdom, cleared level 43 and took 2 days, 16 hours, and 22 minutes. The third place on the clearance list is King Wuan of the Dragon Kingdom. He cleared the 43rd level and took 2 days, 18 hours, and 48 minutes. The fourth place on the clearance list is the Crazy Lion King of the Bear Kingdom. He cleared the 43rd level and took 2 days, 21 hours, and 57 minutes. Ranked 5th on the clearance list, Sakura Kingdom Hitomi King, cleared the 42 levels and took 2 days, 1 hour, and 5 minutes. Ranked 6th on the clearance list, King Sira of the Romantic Kingdom. Compared with the ranking of the Tower of Delusion, the ranking of the Tower of Death has one more level. The top ones are still the geniuses named kings whose names are on the stone tablet of the Tower of Delusion, and there is only a slight change in the ranking sequence. For example, Tongui King, who was previously ranked 10th, became 5th. Boy Su Xian, do you also want to break into the tower? Li Xingchen asked. Certainly. Su Xian smiled, but he was not interested in competing for the list unless he could gain some practical benefits. Otherwise, it would be more practical to play slowly with your disciples. You have just broken through to the title of king. It will be good if you can enter the 35th floor. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Li Xingchen estimated. Although Su Xian cannot be measured by common sense, he has only broken through not long ago, and his cultivation level is only the first stage of the realm of the king. He does not think that Su Xian can reach a very high level in his first attempt to break through the tower. After all, the Death Tower has already had king-level combat power since the 30th floor, and the higher you go, the more difficult it is. Moreover, the Death Tower cannot replenish consumption. Unlike the Tower of Delusion, you can get treatment after passing each floor. The Death Tower must rely on its own breath to rush from the first floor to the 45th floor, and the only supplement is the little feedback obtained by killing a monster. What if I pass the level? Su Xian asked with a smile. Impossible. Li Xingchen absolutely did not believe it. Even if Su Xian is against the sky, he can't be so strong. How about we bet again? Su Xian played with interest. Li Xingchen hesitated for a moment, remembering that the last time Su Xian asked him to be a disciple, he was embarrassed and couldn't bet again. No bet. As a person, you must stay away from gambling and drugs. He was really scared. It's meaningless. Su Xian smiled. At this point, he didn't think of accepting Li Xingchen as his disciple. The old man still had to save face. Not everyone had the mentality of Miao Tian to live his life again. It can only be said that there was no master-disciple relationship between them. I'm going in. As soon as the voice fell, Su Xian took Xiaolu into the teleportation array. The light enveloped them. The next moment, the master and disciple were teleported into the tower. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 330. The light returned again. The world in front of me was strange. As soon as I entered the tower, I was struck by a deadly atmosphere. There were white bones in front of me, and I could hear screams faintly. The oppression given by the Death Tower was far from that of the Delusion Tower. Here, the lowest monster level was at the star level. However, in front of the two, the star-level monsters were like ants and could be crushed at will. The only thing to be careful about was not wasting too much power. At the same time, in the hidden space on the top floor of the Death Tower, a pair of big eyes were watching everything in the tower. Why is my little brother here too? Seeing Su Xian and Xiaolu entering the tower, it gradually transformed into a sexy woman. Why does it call a human as a teacher? Seeing my little brother coming to mess around inside, the Death Tower spirit blushed and sprayed hot water. This is the way the original spirits express their emotions. The Delusion Tower spirit is like this, and the Death Tower spirit is also like this. But Xiao Maiwang's strength has become much stronger. Although they are both tower spirits, the Death Tower spirit has been much stronger than the Delusion Tower spirit since its birth. In just a short time, Su Xian and Xiaolu pushed all the way and reached the 30th floor. This human seems different from others. The Death Tower spirit has been paying attention to Su Xian, and feels that this person is different. Is this the big villain that I mentioned last time? I guess the method that I can become big was taught by this human. I didn't expect that a mere human could master the method suitable for the original spirit clan to practice. For a moment, the Death Tower spirit was moved. Watching my little brother grow bigger, she couldn't help but want to grow bigger, because she could feel that my little brother's growth was not the kind of growth that was only for show. The inner strength was also strengthened with the growth of the body size. Interesting. The Death Tower spirit became more and more interested in Su Xian. I wonder what such a special human will do when facing the Heart Demon Pass. Many of those top kings fell at the Heart Demon Pass. As for the complete clearance, the Death Tower spirit had never thought about it. Before the master left, he said that as long as you can pass the 45th floor of the Death Tower below the demigod realm, you can get a divine inheritance, or choose any treasure from the master's collection. Unlike the hidden reward of the Divine Enlightenment Scroll of the Tower of Delusion, the divine inheritance of the Death Tower is a complete inheritance. The Divine Enlightenment Scroll of the Tower of Delusion is just a little enlightenment. All the demigods of Blue Star got the reward of the Tower of Delusion, but none of them became gods, and they couldn't even comprehend the barriers of the divine realm. A little enlightenment and a complete inheritance are too far apart. Looking at the entire Lulan star and Blue Star, there are only two people who have passed the Death Tower below the demigod realm, one on Lulan star and one on Blue Star. If this kind of genius were placed in the world where the master was originally, the chance of becoming a god would be very high. That's why the master is willing to leave a chance, to establish a good relationship with these people who pass through, and to write down the cause and effect. The Death Tower spirit looked at the many challengers in the tower. Except for the great demon king who just successfully passed the 45th floor, it is estimated that the others are in a very difficult situation, and can only pass the 43rd or 44th floor at most. The space inside the tower below. Su Xian and Xiao Lu have already reached the 35th floor. Starting from the 35th floor, the gatekeepers simulated by the Death Tower have the cultivation of the second stage of the king, the Realm Master realm. Facing such an opponent, even Su Xian has to spend some effort. But his world power is extremely special, almost equivalent to the original power of the chaotic universe. Even if the strong man in the Realm Master realm releases his small world, he can't suppress him. He can easily penetrate the opponent's released small world. The 35th floor. The 36th floor. The 37th floor. Pass all the levels. This time, the Death Tower spirit was a little confused. How is that possible? She originally thought that the 35th floor would be the limit of this human, but this guy was obviously unreasonable and still maintained a full state, and even felt that he was getting stronger and stronger. And she could see that this human deliberately did not kill the tower defender, but left it to Xiao Mai Wang to finish him off. What does that mean? She couldn't understand this confusing operation. What is the purpose of going through the tower? In addition to getting the rewards for passing the level, isn't it just to kill monsters to get energy feedback and improve the realm? But this guy is pretty good to me. No wonder I am willing to become this human's disciple. Just as she was looking at Su Xian with interest, Su Xian, who was going through the tower, suddenly raised his head and looked at the dark sky above the tower. The spirit of the Death Tower was shocked. Seen through? It seems that I was kidnapped in this way. Can that guy really sense the hidden space above the Death Tower? She didn't know if Su Xian could see it, but when she met that gaze, her body unconsciously turned red, and she sprayed hot water. At this time, Su Xian and Xiao Lu finally arrived at the 40th floor. The moment they stepped into the 40th floor, the master and the apprentice were separated and fell into darkness. The 40th floor was a smoky space. In the hazy smoke, there were black shadows wandering, and the smoke had the effect of confusing the mind. Su Xian smiled. Is it the heart demon level again? I wonder what the difference is between this heart demon level and the Tower of Delusion? He was not really interested in these. The only thing that interested him in the entire Death Tower was the second sister of Xiao Mai Wang and the traces of the original spirit blood. At this time, the Death Tower spirit should also be watching here? I don't know if the Death Tower spirit is easy to deceive. The smoke was confusing. In the haze, a figure walked out of the black fog and walked towards Su Xian. Su Ying. The first person to appear was Lin Su Ying. Interesting. This time, the heart demon level did not replicate oneself, but replicated one's relatives and friends. Soon, more and more figures walked out of the fog. Zhang Mu, Xiao Li, Qing Qing, Xiao Kong, Miao Tian, Mai Wang, Lin. Even Atna, Moira, Wu and Wang and others appeared. These familiar faces did not attack Su Xian, but just chatted about family matters together, and the scene was very warm. But what is the way to pass the level? Destroy all these illusions. The mist corrodes the spirit. It seems that the longer you stay in it, the greater the impact will be. It is very likely that you will be completely immersed in this warmth and regard this place as your real home. Su Xian pinched the fake Lin Suying. It feels very textured. It feels more comfortable than the real one. It is probably difficult for a normal person to kill at the first time, and the longer you hesitate, the deeper you will fall, until you are completely sunk in the illusion. Such a heart demon pass is indeed more difficult than the Tower of Delusion. The Death Tower spirit looked at Su Xian, who was surrounded by illusions and indifferent, and felt quite proud. It seems that this human will fall here. The love pass is the most difficult. Some things are known to be fake, but you can't bear to destroy them. This is the most terrifying part of the heart demon pass.